Right, so I'll make a start. So, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Naughty Autie in Conversation. Today, I'm joined with we're bros.
Yeah, we're brothers.
We're bros, yeah. My stepbrother, Josh Burchell, and today, the two of us are going to discuss addiction, recovery, and the 12-step program. More specifically, Josh's experiences with addiction recovery and the 12-step program. So, without further ado, hi Josh.
Hello, mate.
Hello. So, how long have you been clean and sober?
I've been clean and sober for now. Well, the 18th of what are we in? June now. 18th of April. Oh no, May we're in. Sorry.
Start off with a hard question.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. We're in May.
Yeah, 18th of April. I've been clean.
Oh, so over a month.
Yeah.
That's about five. That's about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you remember when you first started drinking and using?
Drinking 16. 16 I was. That was the first time drinking, and then using, mainly mine was cocaine. Was 22, 23.
Okay.
I think, and then from then on.
Right, from then on. And at the beginning, was it a problem from the start? Was it something that just built up gradually?
Yeah, it built.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the drinking was getting more excessive.
Yeah.
And the drugs as well.
Yeah.
It was only half, and then all of a sudden you're doing more and more every night.
Yeah, so it crept up.
Crept up. In the last, for 10 years, but in the last 4 years, it's been like really intense.
Really intense. Yeah. Okay. So So it's a gradual process. Do you remember at the beginning what may have led to the really excessive using and drinking? Because that could be a hard one to answer, because obviously I think for most people, when we go back to perhaps our early teens, we're doing it because we're experimenting and it's naughty. And...
Yeah, I don't know. I found myself doing it when I was unhappy.
Yeah.
Or if there's been a conflict or something, I don't like that. So I push myself, or I go to drink.
Yeah.
To then suppress that, to block that out, or the drugs as well.
Yeah.
And I just found myself, because I was getting more drunk, I was getting into more situations like conflicts.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But then I'd wake up and then I'd want to, what else could I do?
Yeah.
I'll drink again.
Okay.
Just because I didn't want to see it.
Exactly.
You get what I mean?
So like when you woke up in the morning, suddenly everything comes
back to you, and I wouldn't want to look at my phone because I might have text or whatever, So
it becomes a coping mechanism.
Yeah. And that was like trying to, so I'd have my 2 beers or whatever. Not in the morning. It only gradually in the last year or so. But I would only sort of function if I was drinking. Yeah. Or I'd feel like, right, I can reply to that. Or
okay, right.
See what I mean?
So it affected like every aspect of your life.
Yeah. Massively.
Yeah, sure. So to sum it up, it's kind of feeling unhappy and feeling like you couldn't face certain things.
Yeah.
And so drinking became the ultimate escape.
Yeah. That was my only escape. Yeah, I felt it was, but
sure. And I mean, you've kind of answered that question in the last question. Sorry about the noise. It's a noisy area. But I was going to ask, whilst you were drinking and using, what was it doing for you? Why were you drinking and using? But I suppose you
I was like just blocking out,
blocking everything.
Blocking, yeah. Which was, I don't know why. Yeah.
Is that hard? Like when you ask yourself, do you ask yourself why?
Yeah, why? But I can't put a figure on it or whatever.
Yeah,
I cannot.
Because I was going to ask, like when you were a child, did you have any addictive habits? Because I suppose for a lot of addicts, perhaps in childhood, they may eat too much or watch too much TV or.
I can't think of anything not like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than like, you know, I like my football, so obviously I was
Yeah,
just addicted. Maybe I
Okay.
loved playing football.
Yeah.
So my whole youth, from a 4 or 5, I just played football non-stop.
Okay.
So you could say
Yeah.
there's an addiction, or like,
Yeah, sure. I suppose you got to channel it through something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was your. I prefer to call it probably a passion.
yeah, because I still am, but like a shy lad in school, through everything. I was very quiet, shy, but when I was on a pitch, it was like I was a different person.
Okay.
You know, I weren't loud, but I just felt different.
Okay, well that's interesting, and I can relate to that because I was very shy between the ages of 4 and 10, and I found that when I was on stage performing,
Yeah.
I could escape all of my anxiety. So it's
Yeah.
probably similar.
Yeah, no, that's it. I was very anxious.
Yeah.
I didn't know what anxious meant.
No.
At all. Well, like, you know, I didn't. But I found I got worse by drinking though.
Yeah.
Because that anxiety is a depression. Makes you, well, anxious. Worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's a vicious circle.
Yeah. So no, going back to that, maybe my football, but food or any other. I didn't.
Do you remember any kind of emotional themes in childhood? So I was very anxious. I was conscious of the fact that I was anxious very early on because I was an excessive drinker and I abused drugs, although I've not been through the 12-step program, which is why I'm very interested talking to Josh today about his experiences. But yeah, I recognize that I found the world a tough place to live in. And so I have memories of eating too much or gaming too much or watching too much TV and noticing that, okay, those were forms of escapism in the same way that drink and alcohol were later on.
Yeah.
But for you, it was mainly football.
I can't think of it. I was never a gamer. I never got into anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it must have just been.
Yeah. Because I suppose our generation, we just missed that gaming culture.
Yeah.
I remember missing it by about a year.
And I was quite glad of it.
I would not be here today. I need a rehab for that. Yeah. So were you in denial that you had a problem?
Yes, mate. Massively.
Yeah?
Massively. It was, I'd have close friends saying, "Oh, you're drinking too much."
Really?
Or my mum, my dad, my brothers.
Yeah.
But it's always them. They've got the problem. It's not me.
It's
not me. And I was not until I went into Liberty House, and then I realised it is me. It's you.
Yeah.
They're only trying to say to you, but I couldn't see that.
How did that happen? How did you suddenly accept responsibility, take ownership? Do you remember? Was it was a defining moment?
What? When I realised?
Well, because obviously this is quite commonly observed in addicts. Before they perhaps try and get clean, there's a pattern of denial, right?
Yes.
So, and you just said you were in a lot of denial.
Yes.
Yeah. And well, I suppose first of all, what was that like? If people said to you, "You're drinking too much,"
I'd hate it.
Right.
I'd hate it, and then what would I go and do?
But were you aware of that?
Yeah, but I was aware, but I was like, I'm not doing no harm to anyone. You know, it's me. I'm only harming myself. Well, at the time, I didn't care.
Yeah.
But I didn't like what I was hearing.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, oh well, my brothers can have that, or you can have a beer, or.
Well, because I'm interested because earlier you said that for you it was a way of escaping problems. So I suppose that was another thing.
Just to get away. Yeah, leave me alone.
Yeah,
and that's all I wanted to be. Was on my own.
Right.
Well, at that time.
Yeah.
Which is
Okay, I understand. So when you finally kind of said, "Oh wow, okay, yeah, I've got a problem," was it scary? Was it?
Oh, it was massive.
Was it quite freeing, quite liberating in a way, like yes?
No. When I realised that I had this problem was obviously I went to rehab because I broke down, mate.
Yeah.
I could not take this no more. And I just remember I was on the beach and I'd been on a massive bender and I just couldn't I thought, is this my life?
Yeah.
And it was like I'd had a carnage and I woke up and I thought, well, obviously I tried to do myself well. And it was just yeah, I thought,
Yeah.
do
yeah.
I want to live like this?
Right.
So I need help because I can't. I've tried to stop,
Yeah.
but I can't. I couldn't,
Yeah.
and I genuinely could not stop.
Right.
It was like I might go a day, but
It was in more control of you
yeah,
than you
it
were of
took
it.
massively.
Yeah. Yeah. Because was this around kind of Christmas?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Christmas. This is when it was. I've always liked a beer.
Yeah.
Always, but it just I didn't know what I was doing from Christmas, and we spent Christmas. And,
yeah, that's because I remember
and
thinking
I was lost.
I really hope you
get out
of this.
Yeah, I spoke
like,
to you, your brother.
Yeah,
and it was just like because I was coming here a lot, and it was but I had to find it myself.
Yeah,
it was all right telling you, but I would still leave here and go and get pissed somewhere else, or
exactly.
You know what I mean? I weren't actually, but it was when it hit me, and obviously I've got my daughter and that. It's like,
of course.
Do I want to live like this?
And I suppose, did you think about her?
Like, well, it was that morning, and I rang my partner Joe, and then obviously I see Autumn's face, and it was just on FaceTime, and it was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, that's a huge decision to make, isn't it? Like, wow. So
but it wasn't a relief. I didn't relate. It was just like, whoa.
It's the reality finally hit you, and at that point you said, no, I'm not going to escape anymore. I'm gonna go and confront this.
Yeah, because I always thought, stupid, an alcoholic is like a bloke on a bench or drink spirits, or do you know?
Yeah, there's a stereotype.
No, that's what no, mate. Or you can be anyone, and the people I've seen in the clinics where I've been, it's like, it don't matter how rich you are or whatever. Yeah, it's this disease you have.
Right. Okay.
And it's an illness which I never knew.
Okay.
Which is
so that was a profound realization. So this is actually an important point, because we still stereotype in the addictive community. If the terminology is correct, but it's the same way in the autistic community, or people who aren't familiar with autism have this idea in their head of what an autistic person looks like. It's usually a boy or a male resembling Rain Man or Sheldon Cooper. But I suppose there's a similar stereotype when it comes to alcoholism and addiction, because I remember being the same, actually. And even still, it's a bit like people in the autistic community self-identify, and those people are insecure about self-identifying because they say to themselves, well, I can't be completely sure until I've actually been diagnosed by a professional. And I suppose it's the same, because in my situation, I never went to rehab. I never did the 12-step program. I went to live with a mentor who really helped me. And I went back to drinking and using a couple of times after that. But also it would be... also, an addict or an alcoholic don't necessarily drink every single day either. It's just that once you start, you can get stuck in this pattern, and it can come to an end, and you can keep yourself going for a couple of days, and then it's like it has this gravity to it that you keep falling into time and time again. But yeah, as you said, it's an illness. Right? Yeah, it takes over your life. It prevents you from functioning normally, and you can't function without it. So let's have a look. And I said, what was the turning point? So see, a lot of these questions are being answered as we go along. And when did you realize you had a problem and decided you wanted things to get better? You've kind of answered that. Do you now that you are back out into the world again, do you still have tough days?
Yeah. Well, obviously, not tough days, but I do. Like Tuesday, I thought, finished work, I've had an hard day's work, and I thought, shall I have a bit? You know, there is that little niggle that says, go on, you'll be all right.
That's interesting, because a lot of the time when it comes to addiction, it's the kind of it's the routine.
Well, that's
you know, it's like, as you said, finish work, have a beer.
Yeah.
You know, or like a lot of perhaps cocaine addicts have their favorite fiver that they use, things like that. It's the whole routine. There's a sentimental attachment to it. It's not just the substance itself, it's the routine built around it. So like you said, you might get home from work, and the standard procedure prior to going to a rehab would be have a beer when you get home. So when you have those thoughts now, Like, what do you do? What's different now?
Well, I just think of my past, mate. I think of, do I want to take that one beer, which will then probably lead me back to where I was 4 months ago, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Which that I'll keep in my head for as long as to get me through.
And that's enough for you to say, yeah, I don't want that.
But also, if I say about what I've learned at the clinic was the meditation, the yoga, which we've done there, and doing also, these are things like meditation I do in the morning, which when I first went to that clinic, I laughed at it. Well, I said to my therapist,
bit hippy dippy.
Well, yeah, he read it out. It was a lovely bloke, Pablo, and he was going meditation in the morning at 9 o'clock, and I went, well, that ain't going to be happening, mate. Like that, I can't see myself. But honestly, after 2 days of doing it, it clicked massive. A lot of that at that Liberty House was huge.
Yeah,
they were brilliant.
Yeah,
and so it was meditation and doing like my 10 or 5 what they call gratitudes in the morning, which I find that helps. But with that trigger, if I have it, I just think of my past.
Okay.
Or my daughter. Yeah. As well. They're for me.
Yeah. I suppose a combination of the kind of dark and gloomy past and what you have now would be useful in helping yourself, abstain from what you were using before. But that's quite a good practice for anyone to adopt, really. Yeah. Because I think a lot of us don't realize how addicted we actually are, perhaps even if it's just to our phones or to people or something else that may be low-key destructive. Just because it's not majorly destructive doesn't mean it's not like an addictive pattern. So that's quite good, because I think a lot of people journal. I journal every single day, but I'll just jot down some feelings. I'll be like, oh gosh, this made me anxious today. What was it? What can I do to prevent it, kind of thing. So so the gratitudes, is that 5 different things every day?
Yeah, normally, but it's just simple things, actually. It's like my cup of tea in the morning.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah, it should be simple,
or
shouldn't
just the sun's out. My daughter's always there, and my higher power.
Yeah.
Which obviously you might ask, would you want me to?
I'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, no, they're my daughter and my higher power are always
there. It's like a sturdy kind of mainstay.
Main two. Yeah. But then every morning, you're different and being alive, and
Has it made you appreciate the smaller things?
Oh, massively. Man.
Yeah.
I had this life like that. It was just dark.
Yeah.
Now it's like the sky. I'm noticing trees more.
Yeah.
Or just looking at things.
Yeah.
Like walking around Canterbury on last Sunday we done.
Yeah.
Or was when we had autumn or Saturday morning. It's like I'm actually looking at shops and the stonework or whatever. I would never look at that.
Yeah.
Or I would be, but it's not going in.
Yeah, because I suppose before, when you're stuck in a kind of rut, you can only see one thing.
Yeah.
You're just relentlessly trying to...
And it's dark. It's just nothing bright, but it's like...
You can appreciate the world around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything, man.
And that's useful. That's useful because I suppose you need an appreciation for life as like the fuel that's going to carry you through.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so what was the most important thing for you to take away from the 12-step program?
The most?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I'm interested in the kind of things you might have gotten up to there.
Well, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
So obviously you go through, do you want to, I do my life story at first.
Oh yeah. Is that the first step?
First step. Well, it's not step 1, it's life story. And then you read that out in front of your peers.
Yeah.
And then you get given your step 1, which is only an introduction to step 1. So you fill out that, read that out again, and then you get to step 2. But obviously I was there for 28 days, so I could only get up to step 2. I wrote my step 3, but these are only introductions.
Yeah. That's quite powerful though. Yeah. After just 2 steps.
2 steps. Yeah. It's massive because on your step 1, you've actually admitted that you're at what's the word?
Got a problem?
Yeah. It's taken control.
Okay.
So when you're writing it down, and then you're reading it because it's just wow.
Yeah.
But then 2, you go on to this high power.
Okay.
Which there was another thing I said to my therapist, was like, high power, and I keep hearing all this serenity prayer, God. I'm not religious.
Yes. So you were naturally like skeptical.
Yeah, because I thought, no.
So just before we carry on, Josh sent me the 12 steps, and I'll just read them out. So the 12 steps, number 1, and the actual 12-step program was founded by, I think, the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
So here are the 12 steps. Number 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, in this case, that our lives had become unmanageable. Number 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Number 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. So I'll stop right there, because when I was reading this, my question to you was, surely not everyone embraces the religious interpretation of God.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because otherwise there'd be a whole group of people it wouldn't appeal to.
Exactly that, mate. And that's what we thought. Well, when you see it and you see God,
you
automatically think, oh, you're religious. No, it's not that. Your God can be anything.
Yeah.
It's your high power, which
is what people are trying to find through drugs and alcohol anyway.
Exactly.
You're trying to access this higher power through snorting, ingesting, injecting, consuming as much as possible until you can never get there. You'll never get there through drugs and alcohol, which is why you can't stop, because you feel like you've got a pale imitation of the real thing, but you can't fully get it. No. And maybe if I keep going, I'll get it next time. Yeah.
No, you don't get that.
Yeah. So this is a very important for people to know who are not of a particularly spiritual nature. Your higher power doesn't have to be found through religion or spirituality. I think you were saying earlier, you can find it in nature.
Mine is my nan.
Your nan,
who's passed away.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, because I did them, and doing the meditation, I could see her.
Right.
And it does happen. If
you had an experience. Yeah.
And she takes you pray. I pray. It's not like praying like you can just pray now sitting here. But she controls me.
Okay.
Do you know? She takes all.
Yeah. So you ground through her. Now.
Yeah.
So when you have problems you call upon her. Yeah.
To decide what
the right course of action is. Yeah.
Because I've always been close to my nan.
Yeah.
And before she passed away, I was always there.
Yeah.
But I always, through this hard time, for the last 10 years, I was praying still, but I was getting nothing. But that was obviously the addiction. It was not allowing it in. Yeah. And it's now I'm clean. I can see her, or she's around me.
Right. Okay.
And it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing, because you sit there and you say, nah, that's a load of waffle. Like someone would say to you, but I swear to God, it's true.
Yeah. That's what's important. You found your higher power, and that's part of the process. Yeah. So that's important, because I should imagine, I'm trying to think, because I don't like making decisions. So I think a lot of people here are probably thinking, what could their higher power be? And in a way, we all have the potential to have one, right?
Yes.
And it does, as I said before, it doesn't have to be a god of a particular religion or any kind of spirit, anything immaterial. Some people could get that feeling when they're windsurfing or gardening or walking in the woods. I get it when I'm on stage, doing my stuff, or when I'm writing. I feel that sense of wow, so I live for that. So that's what I mean. So anyone, nature does teach us balance in the cycle that keeps going. Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Right, okay. So number 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Okay, so I suppose that's about looking inside and finding what's good for us and what we need to let go of, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Number 5, admitted to God, or the higher power, to ourselves and to other human beings the exact nature of our wrongs. Oof, I bet that one's hard.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, I've only got to step 3. I'll be doing the rest with my sponsor.
Yeah.
Which I'll find while I'm out.
Right. Okay.
Clear.
But I suppose you either made a list or you contacted a lot of people apologizing.
Well, there is a list. Yeah.
There is a list.
Yeah. Of obviously who I. Yeah.
Because that's very hard for some people to do.
See, was
it hard for you?
Well,
too?
it is hard because what do I don't like confrontation. Yeah. So I've got to go and face.
Oh right.
Do you understand?
Yeah. I get
so
that,
it's like, whoa, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Last time I'd done that, or I ran away, didn't I? Like,
yeah.
Drunk. So it's one that I'm.
So you're really facing your demons.
Yeah. You've written it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now I suppose I know a lot of people here, and I know that a lot of people in my community have what's called rejection sensitivity, and so there could be that fear that you could approach someone from your past that you know you had conflict with or may have hurt in some way, and there's the possibility that they don't accept the apology and they get angry, or they say, oh, you're only doing this for some insincere reason.
Yeah, that's the thing I was worried about. But I think there is, on one of them it says, or it was on our thing, that if you feel that you can't say it to that person because it leads to trouble, then void
okay.
So they actually explain it.
That one could be quite a hard one to judge though, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, okay, but still important to do, because I guess you're kind of cleansing turning over the new slate. You're cleansing the palette, you're starting afresh.
All again.
Yeah, gosh, okay.
Yes.
Right, so we are entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. So I suppose as you said before, your Nan, your higher power, you turn to her and she helps to cleanse you, cleanse your soul.
I like that word, yeah. That's it,
yeah. Okay. And humbly ask him or her
or whatever you're
to remove our shortcomings. Okay, so you're in a position where you're like, oh gosh, I can't cope, and you turned your higher power. Can you give me some support right here?
Yes, because them steps, they're not. I know they go 4, 5, 6, 7, but they're all kind of massed into one.
Yeah.
So
okay, cool. Yeah, because I suppose they're all part of the same.
Yeah, so you sort of not skip the numbers, but they put it as but
yeah, of course. Made a list. Number 8. Made a list of persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to all of them. All right, yeah. So that's kind of like number 5, I think.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Gosh, my list would be never ending.
I know, mate.
Yeah. I suppose it's about doing the best you can, because some people are going to be unobtainable.
Exactly. There's people there that I'm thinking, well, they're just going to just make feeling sorry for it, or just.
Before I go on, there are some higher power sources that are out of bounds. Like some you can't. You were saying earlier, there are a couple of things you can't have as your higher power.
Yeah, living. Well, they said to me, us, living like
a living.
I couldn't have you.
Why not? I'm taking that
as much as I would. No, but that's what they stressed. Or you can't have yourself. Which I don't. I've heard people say that their high power is them. No, that can't work.
That's called narcissism, which is still an addiction, by the way. That's still an addiction. It's amazing, actually, how addiction is at the root of so many things, isn't it? Yeah. Whether it's our phone, whether it's someone else. For some people, it could be themselves. Whatever you are depending on the outside, for your. For your strength, for your well-being, etc. So, right, let's have a look. Number 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. So you mentioned that. Number 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. So this is just like part of the ongoing thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because life's not perfect. It's going to throw some curveballs. Because I was thinking that. Because at no point do I want to be negative, because you're doing really well and you're like a new man, and it's wonderful to see. But I suppose when you're in, what's it called, Liberty House?
Yeah.
When you're in Liberty House, there's a safety, isn't there?
You're in that bubble.
You're in a cocoon.
Yeah, you're all wrapped up.
Yeah.
You're not in that real world.
Because then you get out into the world, and the world's not kind.
No.
The world is going to make you want to. It's almost like it's designed to make you relapse. The world.
Well, yeah, massively, and it was a scary thing coming out.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I've had great support and all that, but it's like, whoa.
And I suppose this is why you need this structure.
Yeah.
If some of us are prone to spiraling down this pit of excessive, a pit of excess, we need a structure to stop us from slipping down into that hole.
That's why they stress to finish these 12 steps.
Yeah.
Because they know no one who's ever completed it has ever gone back.
Really?
So no, that's what one of my therapists said to me. Yeah. So you complete them 12 steps.
So complete the full 12 steps.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people, they say leave when I was there after the 3 and think, oh, that's it,
Okay, so don't rest on your laurels, don't get cocky.
Nah. See, I'll get not that, but I've been doing Zoom meetings, but I'd rather go to meetings,
with
face to face and all that, which hopefully we will be able to do now because of Corona.
Yeah.
But that's definitely, they stress follow up and get yourself a sponsor.
Okay, can you explain the sponsor? What does that mean?
Sponsor is someone that has been where I've been, right?
Yes.
And they've completed the 12 steps.
Good.
And they're giving back what they've learned.
Which is part of it.
Yeah. So they're passing on to you. And they're basically, you go through your steps with them. And then, like, if you ever had a bad day or you're thinking about using or doing anything, you just ring them up or whatever and just chat. They sort of just
so everyone's helping
each other. Yes,
yeah. I'm really pleased that the sponsors have been through it themselves.
Yeah,
because just to draw yet another parallel in the autistic community, we tend to have more respect for people who are autistic and have lived it themselves because they know it inside out.
Yeah.
So that makes me really happy that they don't just lumber you with some
which is good, because my therapist's there as well, and I wanted to ask them, Pablo and Alves, Spanish and Portuguese, normal men to me, but I just said to and Costas, all of them that work there, and I just asked them individually, all used, all drunk, but like they're amazing people.
Yeah.
And you're like, good. It's not like someone just off. Like that hasn't experienced it, because they don't know.
Exactly. You can read about it, but you don't actually know what it's like to go through.
You can have all the degrees or whatever.
From
reading a book, but you haven't lived that.
And we say exactly the same in the autistic community. We tend to have more respect for people who are autistic, who can talk about the autistic experience, rather than some non-autistic person who just relies upon textbooks. Someone's asking an interesting question that I can't help but address. What about the Eastern schools that believe the higher self exists within? Okay, Amy, I would differentiate that from the concept of the self, because Eastern schools of thought also renounce the idea of the self as a construct, but they allude more to this kind of higher power that exists within everything, So I would make a distinction between that. Who was his higher power? What was acceptance in polarities? So Josh was saying earlier, his nan, who's not with us now. Yeah, I met your nan a few times.
Monica,
yeah. Oh, she was a character.
She was.
I love the fact that she made the ducks cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, and she always had the robins when she lived in Cherry.
Yeah, she liked birds, didn't she?
Yeah, loved them.
Loved them. Okay, right. I'll come back to questions afterwards. But yeah, people are tuning in and they're quite riveted.
That's good.
Let's have a look. What else have I? Yeah. So number 11: sought prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with the higher power, as we understood him, them, her, whoever. Praying only for knowledge of their will for us and the power to carry that out. So that's just having a daily prayer and meditation routine.
Yeah, which,
because I'm a meditator and I've dabbled in a few different schools of meditation. So do you know what kind of meditation it is?
mindfulness.
Okay, mindfulness. Yeah, so that's probably the most widely used meditation.
And the one what you've been.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
Yeah.
We had a couple
Brilliant.
there. We had
out with the stress.
So yeah, them two.
Yeah, I love Wim Hof. But they offer completely different experiences.
Yeah.
Because I mean, mindfulness is just the process of trying to expand your attention out to everything. And the beauty of mindfulness is when you were speaking earlier about appreciating, the small things in life and going for a walk. To me, that's still part of mindfulness because you're suddenly aware of things you weren't aware of before.
Yeah,
right?
no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And then Wim Hof, who doesn't love Wim Hof, honestly? That will make you feel alive. That makes you feel like you're ready to go. It's really difficult though, but I recommend it. It's good stuff. So yeah, how long do you meditate for every day?
I do 20 minutes in the morning. I do it when the first thing I wake up.
Oh, God, I envy you. You've got to teach me because I'm sure a lot of you here will this will resonate for. The first thing I do when I wake up is check the phone. It's so annoying. Do you meditate before you check your phone?
Yeah, no, I go straight to my thing on my phone. On your phone? But I don't look at anything. It just goes straight to my
You don't look at Facebook or Twitter?
I've deleted all that. Well, I only had Twitter, but I deleted that when I went in Liberty House.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you don't have social media anymore?
Nah. Because I just thought, I only used it for because another addiction was, I like horse racing, didn't I? Gambling.
I didn't know that actually.
So there's a cross addiction.
Yeah.
So there was another thing I've got to sort of be aware if I stop drugs and alcohol, your addiction's still there. It's like me smoking.
Okay, it just takes on different forms.
So you've got to be careful with your cross addiction.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a phrase like false higher power, fake higher power, that you kind of get from drinking or whatever, gambling. Yeah. It's like a false, it's not real.
No, it's not real. Yeah.
I think
believe it is.
Yeah, exactly. Some people describe addiction as disconnection. You're disconnected from something.
But going back to so I do it.
So I do it
first thing 20 minutes. Or it's whatever it is, but it's max 20 minutes. But I'm only doing it in the morning because I've done it in the morning at Liberty House. I know it was at 9 o'clock, but I just think I'll do it before work.
Was it a group meditation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go in, sit in a big circle, just shut your eyes and but I just thought I'd do it in the morning to set me up through the day. But I do in the evening. I will have another one if I can't sleep, or I have a little meditate.
Yeah.
Then. Because I always thought it was just like meditation was all like that.
Like just
yeah.
Well, that's another thing. There's a lot of misconceptions. Meditation again doesn't have to have any religious connotations. It's just a practice, really. We train our bodies. It's important that we train our minds too, because God, thoughts are so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. What ruins our day the most? It's thoughts. It's our toxic thought pattern. So it's so important to bring that under control where possible.
And with your breathing, it just
just
hearing your breathing, it's just like that's what you're thinking. You're not thinking. It's brilliant.
So
switch off.
So because a lot of people here might say that, I could never meditate because my mind's too busy. Did you feel that at one point?
Yeah. Yes and no. And I had some peers in there that could not at all, and a few of them couldn't. They said I can't switch off, but I did have it. But I just found myself just more concentrating, and then I was just thinking of my breathing, and it helped.
I think people fight it, don't they?
Yeah,
you shouldn't fight. A lot of people say no, it would be too hard. I'm like, no, that's not meditation. If you're trying hard, then you're giving your mind more stuff more stimulation.
Yeah. You just got to relax and
surrender.
Surrender.
Yeah, surrender. Cool. Okay, awesome. And yoga, do you still do that?
I haven't.
Yeah.
But when I went there, I thought yoga was all that stretching but it was the old yoga, the breathing.
Oh, really?
Like the sound, like
chanting.
Yeah, and all your all this and
Really?
it was the old original yoga.
Which some of that stuff does give you like extraordinary experiences.
You get these sensations through your body. It's unreal, and you're like,
who needs drugs?
Yeah, and it's like tingling all inside. It was and also there we done gong bath, which is sound therapy, which I'd love to do round here or wherever I can, because that is unreal.
Should we buy some gongs? But that's the thing. I lived in a meditation center for a while, and we did gong baths, and I was meditating 3 hours a day. And at one point, I felt like I'd taken a load of pills because I was like so ecstatic. I was like, gosh, actually, we can get to a point where we don't actually need those stimulants because you've got it inside you. Your body is fully equipped with the tools to allow you to rise to, ascension.
Yeah, there was one bloke in there when we was doing one, and it was shouting like whatever the word was, but you could see I was living at work, getting off him because he was in it. It was amazing. Yeah, and it's like wow, sure, and it's good to see. You feel off other people's energy. Okay, so yeah. In your that's so much more powerful because I suppose we want to do that anyway. Like I can remember going out with people, not drinking, and people say, "Oh, what? You can't have a good time without drinking?" I'm like, it's not as simple as that because when everyone else is slurring and falling over each other, and you're just there like, oh, these pesky drunkards. You're not on their level. No. And what are people who are drunk doing? They're trying to access like a community feeling. Yes. But I suppose you're describing that, but through gong baths and meditation, you have like a communal feeling. And then you're all in that together. Yeah. I said that right there. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Cool. Let's have a look. Oh, it reminds me of when Harry said once that he used alcohol and drugs because he was searching for connection. I called it false connection because without that there was no connection to the people I was friends with or the course I was doing at the time or anything else. It's like, okay, right, where I don't feel confident and secure, this alcohol, these drugs give me confidence and security. So why the heck would I give that up? You've got to find that elsewhere in undestructive forces. Let me have a look. I think there's... And number 12, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So is that mention of sponsorship, that one, pretty much? That was something about we carry this message to alcoholics. Oh no, we're passing it on then, aren't we? Yeah, passing it on. So as we said before, sponsors have been through it themselves, so they're giving back, so they're passing on their wisdom and everything they've learned, which is really powerful, like, because that's inspiring, isn't it? Because you might think, oh right, where they are right now, is where they're in a really strong place. So for a lot of people, it's something to aspire to. Yeah, awesome, cool. So a lot of people are making a lot of comments. Let me try and by the way, if any of you have any questions, please ask away. Wim Hof cold water. Yeah, that's why I go sea swimming. It's getting warm now, but I wish it was getting cold because I'm enjoying all this. But yeah, anything like that, like that's Wim Hof's higher power, isn't it? Like getting into ice swimming. Like, it can be anything, and I just think, yeah, gosh, I think it puts people off because they think finding a higher power means I have to convert to a religion. Yeah. But no, it doesn't. You can find your higher power at home. Yeah, you don't have to rush your... Yeah, because there was people stressing in there saying, I haven't found it. I haven't found it. But your therapist was saying that, well, it's not, you don't rush. Yeah, because otherwise, that's another thing. You're rushing. It's part of it, isn't it? Oh God, I can't find it. Drink. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah, because I always believed my nan was with me when I was, like I said, 10 years, and I would pray and I would miss, or when she passed away, but I couldn't see her. But that's where my connection was
And so she came to you. So you were meditating, and that's when you had your. Was that your spiritual awakening?
No, my spiritual awakening was I was reading my life story on the Thursday afternoon. So I'd done that, read it all out, and then it was the Thursday night. I went to bed, done my prayer, and I'm not lying. I was laying on my side, and had my eyes shut, and then honest, there's a picture, a face come up.
Yeah.
While my eyes were shut, and I was like, and I cried.
Really?
Genuinely cried.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, Nan, you're here. And then we didn't get our phones till 6:30 the next evening on Friday. I remember ringing my dad straight away because it's his obviously mum, and I was like, Dad, you're not going to believe this. Nan's with me, and he said, she's always been with you, son. It's just.
Wow.
And it was the most, and I remember going to tell my therapist straight away.
Yeah.
But they could see, and that was from that day.
Yeah.
I just felt they said on my graduation was that they knew that day when I found my higher power, I completely and it was amazing.
That's all.
And I did. I honestly, and then my peers said it. And they could feel, and when you go around in your graduation, they said about every person speaks about you. And they just said how amazing that was, seeing it off you and how much energy they got, which, I cannot, it was one of the best feelings ever. Because I actually know she's here.
Yeah, that's so powerful.
And it's fucking amazing.
So powerful.
Amazing.
Thanks for sharing with everyone. Let's have a look. So... I'll have a look at people's questions. That's fine. And then I've got there's another question. So I suppose you met a lot of interesting people there. Yeah.
Everyone I met was brilliant. All different ages.
Okay, so who was the youngest person?
The youngest was 22.
Wow.
But I also, because I had to isolate at Sanctuary Lodge because of coronavirus, another clinic. For 5 days, I met a lad and he was 19 and he was from Scotland, and I just thought, you got your whole life, mate. It was amazing. So but the one I was at, Liberty, was 22 and it probably went up to 62, 63.
Yeah.
So there was a match.
It's never too early. It's never too late.
Never too late. No. And I've seen there was 2 people in there that had been to that Liberty house before, relapse, and there was couple of them, so it's quite good to be with people who relapsed, not in a horrible way, but to hear how they went wrong.
So you can plan ahead.
You know,
I was going to say that because
it's sad.
Actually, it could go either way. Because I was thinking, how many people are you with who have relapsed, and would that knock your confidence because you think, oh damn, is the same thing going to happen to me? But actually, you've put a positive slant on it because, you can learn from them what mistakes they made.
But do you know there was 18 of us in the room, and the therapist went, sober, relapse, sober, relapse. So 1 in 3.
1 in 3.
Yeah. And it's like quite... When you look around that room, you're thinking, fucking hell.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, the percentage is something ridiculous, like low.
Yeah.
I think it's like 12%, 11%.
Really?
That stay clean.
Yeah.
It's
But
mad.
then once you complete the 12 steps.
I remember one of them saying they've never gone back.
Never gone back. Once you complete
the
full 12 steps.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is
so you've got to keep going. You've got to keep going.
Yeah, they say, oh, you'll be all right. Well, your mind's telling you now, you're fine. But if there's that one little bit of your thing in the back of your head, that's just you're nurturing, he says. That's going to come out in 10 years' time, or when or something bad happens or whatever. That's just going to come straight to the front, take control.
Yeah. Earlier this evening, when you said to me that you hadn't completed the 12 steps, my initial thought was, really? I was surprised. But now, come to think of it, that's actually good because it gives you something to keep working towards when you're out.
Yeah, no, yeah, you can only, I was there for 4 weeks, so yeah, I could only get to 3. But yeah, so now I'm out, it's like more work, more up, like.
Yeah. And you're what, 31?
31,
yeah. Cool. Only 10 minutes or so left. This could be a 2-hour session, really. I know.
You don't pay me enough.
When you get to your 12 steps, I'll give you a raise. I'll promote you. Can you distinguish alcoholics and problem drinkers? I consider myself to be a problem drinker. That's a really good question. I think the way I distinguish it is that, okay, because someone asked earlier what factors lead people to an addiction, and I suppose people have looked into this, and it's largely innate. There's an innate component, which means that some people, according to Professor Nutt, neuroscientist called Professor Nutt, that's hilarious, 10% of people get addicted. But that isn't to say that people don't experience tragic life circumstances which lead them into perhaps problem drinking. But this could be probably, I need a few glasses of wine every night, versus an alcoholic who won't be able to just have a few glasses. It's something deep within you that activates a hunger that cannot be satisfied. So one would be people who aren't addicts can use alcohol or drugs as a crutch, because things are not crotch. Don't use it as a crotch, whatever you do. People can experience depression due to myriad circumstances, and perhaps as a result, they drink more and use more. But addicts, this is something that is kind of part of who we are. You could say that it's a neurotype, actually. And if we experience hardship and whatever, then it drives us straight into that horrible, destructive pattern. Cool. Is anyone here? Does anyone here go to AA? Has anyone here done the 12 steps? I'd be interested to know. I'm just going to check to see if anyone's got any more questions. God, it's flown by.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So I'm just scrolling up. Oh, I'm doing a Wim Hof workshop later this year. Love Wim Hof. Yeah, it's hilarious. Someone says, oh no, let's get that up. Hi, Josh. Thanks so much for sharing your experience with dissociating from anxiety through drugs and alcohol. I've been in 12-step programs for 10 years, yet just identified I need to learn/practice healthy detachment from others because their behavior is triggering my hypersensitivity, rejection sensitivity, and moving me into fight or flight modes. Like, that anxiety that makes you want to. So you were saying escapism, where some people want to fight. Detachment is Alcohol Anonymous's premise. Acceptance is Alcohol Anonymous's premise. Harry's recently been covering the topic of autistic hypersensitivity and hyperreactivity. I'm looking for solutions and know I need to do more things like 11th step meditation, as you're doing, and yoga and gratitude lists, and appreciation of the many special people in my life and nature, and grounding and praying to a spirit you feel close with. This is also wonderful what you're saying, Josh. It really ties into what Harry has been talking about. Harry has mentioned identifying what we value and appreciate, i.e. I value my freedom, so I will therefore control my destructive hyperreactive responses caused by my hypersensitivities. Wow, it's a long, but thank you, it's flattering. Yeah. I think Harry has also mentioned shifting to the people, places, things that will fill us when we are in need. Because it could be anything, so I talk about the fixed safety points, and alcohol, drugs, people, sex, shopping, gambling become fixed safety points. Because why? We don't feel good as ourselves. It doesn't feel safe to be ourselves. So we need assistance from something. All the best on your recovery journey. P.S. I've had some great higher power experiences when being in the flow, whether that's when I'm in nature or playing the piano or writing, journaling, or imagining myself being with the people I've loved who are no longer physically on this earth. It really does seem that there's a loving and kind universal higher power, nothing to do with religion. There is a big book chapter, We Are Agnostics. There are atheists. So an atheist is someone who doesn't believe in God. An agnostic is someone who doesn't know. Either way. Only required is desired to stop drinking. Harry, how can we NDs tweak the 12 steps towards our need? That is a good question, because I'm really interested in this. we should diversify the 12-step program somehow, but we'll have a discussion later on my page. Wouldn't it be great to have a forum toward health utilizing sponsorship? Yeah, I agree, because, you know, you've helped me understand all this stuff, so thanks. You know, this is really interesting, and this is valuable for the community. Does anyone else have any questions? Don't we all need a sponsor to call on when we're struggling? I suppose we do. It depends on what we call sponsor. So like you were saying earlier, for you, the sponsor would be someone who has been addicted to the same kinds of things.
Yeah, they say take your time to find.
Take your time to
find the one, not a mate or just because you might get on where they've been. Because there is like that person. They're
like a mentor.
Mentor, yeah.
So that's one thing I actually often recommend people. Having a mentor who has your back, who is there for you, who's not trying to control you or manipulate you or force you to do anything, but it's just like your journey. They're like your journey buddy. Yeah. Like, right, we're going to get through this.
We're going to do this together.
Yeah, exactly. Think of each step as an extra eye. Okay. Oh, yeah. Are you advised to replace your addiction with something else that is not harmful? Not cross-addicting. I think that's part of the higher power. Once you find your higher power, you don't crave in the same way, right? Because they take away the...
But that's gone. But like an addict, I never smoked, did I? You see, there's that in me as well. But I'm not like a proper smoker, like, you know. But it's
light smoker. But look, the way I see it, we live in a fucking stressful and chaotic world. We need advice. We need to do something naughty.
Yeah.
You know, like whether it's chocolate or chewing.
Well, that's another thing. Chocolate. I'm eating chocolate like mad.
Oh, you knock yourself out, Josh. You eat your chocolate. Let's have a look. Who was his higher? Oh, well, Josh has answered that. Let's have a look. If there's any more questions. I'm just scrolling through. There's a lot of commentary, which is really, really good. I'm glad that people are tuning in tonight. I wonder whether people who are visual thinkers find it easier to do meditation. Well, so you clearly think in images, because like you said, when you closed your eyes, you could see your nan appear.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, this you might find this quite mad actually. Some people in this community can't see pictures in their minds.
Right.
Yeah. So
okay, no, I suppose you don't. No,
you don't have to. No, so you don't have to.
And I don't see it all the time. It's just
does she just randomly
cut into? Yeah.
Is it like hello,
I'm here? But I get this flicker.
Yeah.
Flick, like you black and white, and then I can sense her.
Yeah.
I feel her. So yeah.
That's crazy.
It is, mate.
Yeah. I'm glad that you have that. Cool. Right. No, I think that's pretty much it. We can stop there with 1 minute to go. So thanks, Josh.
Nice one, Harry.
I've really enjoyed having you here with me tonight to talk about this. This is really, really powerful stuff. So that was Josh Burchell, everyone, my bro. So yes, Charlotte asked me to mention to you that next week's Naughty Autie in Conversation will take place on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. UK time, and I'll be speaking with Eleanor Wilkinson about her experiences with having an eating disorder and grief. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks again, Josh. Yeah, thanks, and I'll see you all soon. Bye now.